All right, here we are for the first round. And it looks like we've got a keeper here. I think we're probably going to be cycling that Lonely Sandbar almost right away. Gets a card in the yard for Circular Logic. Interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the old Rootwalla here. I think I can actually get in a bunch of damage early. 2 Obsessive Searches and an island. It's a little scary. I think I like just curving out here, though. Play a Druid. Beats. Lizard beats. And then probably just going to ship the turn at some point here. Oh, he cycled Cloud of Fairies? So he's definitely Storm, which is pretty annoying. Play an Aquamoeba. Probably just have to play this Lonely Sandbar. Let's think here. But I have to get super aggressive here. There's no doubt about that. All right, so I'm definitely going to be pumping up Basking Rootwalla, and I'm definitely going to be pitching something here so that I can get in for 8 damage, because then he only has 1 more turn to go. So I don't think Repel's going to do anything at this point. I can't cast it this turn anyway, so I think that's the card I'm going to ditch. So let's do that. Aether Mutation fairly dead here as well. I'm just trying to figure out if I should even play Grand Coliseum or not. I want to make sure that I have enough so that I can counter anything on his side. He's going to try to go off next turn. I have to figure out what I want to do to try to stop him. Doesn't look like any of this is really going to matter. The Lonely Sandbar could. So I think I just say go. He's got to come up with something right now. I guess if I play the Grand Coliseum and I draw a land and he doesn't, yeah, there's some situations where it could matter if he just plays random blocker, because that could buy him a whole turn. All right, so here's High Tide. So I need to counter this. So I think I just ditch all 3 of these and then Circular Logic. Okay, so that gets countered. He can flashback Deep Analysis, but he's got a lot of work to do to try to make that up. Now, he could just have another High Tide and maybe get himself some action going here, but we are threatening lethal now. So he's got to put something down. If he plays High Tide, he has access to 4 mana, and then if he has like Frantic Search, okay, so he would have 6 mana plus Frantic Search. All right, so he does have the Familiar. All right. So we don't get to just kill him this turn. But he does have to chump block here, which is kind of sweet. Oh, no, he's got Choking Tethers. Okay. Well, let's just hope that he's out of gas, because we should be able to get him for next turn. All right, he did not block. So let's make a worm. And get him in and get in for more damage too. All right, so this just basically says like he must go off this turn. And he totally could. I think we've done the best we can to put as much pressure on him as possible and make him go off. If he does, he does. We just have to sit here and watch now. Not really the fun part, I won't lie. But, yeah, let's just hope. All right, sweet. He bricked, which is super awesome. That's a spot where we can lose very easily. But we didn't, so that's great. So what do we want to do here? Aether Mutation is bad. Repel can still be playable, but not great. I think we can ditch Flametongue Kavu and the bad mana that we get from it. It's just not doing enough in a matchup like this to warrant the splash, I don't think. Simian Grunts, that does bring a few more beats than we currently have, so we probably do that. Tribute to the Wild doesn't do much. I guess we could play an Elephant Guide or a Jungle Worm. I mean, we just basically want to just like make our curve as good as it can be. Elephant Guide is risky against his deck, but it's also a way to get in surprise damage that he might not be able to account for. And I think it's better than, having a random, like, whatever, a bounce spell or whatever for a creature that he's just not really going to play. So hopefully this is a more the most streamlined version of the deck that we can get. Aquamoeba, Grizzly Fate. I think we can keep this. I don't love this hand for obvious reasons. It's got 5 lands in it, but it does have 2 important enablers for us. So yes, let's keep it. Do I want to just cycle Obsessive Search or do I want to do it with Aquamoeba? I think I just want to cycle it. Yeah, that's good. That's not as good, but it's fine. Probably going to just start ditching stuff here to Aquamoeba, to be honest, like to get in damage. Cycle Cloud of Fairies, sure. And he's just going to get the job done right here. This is going to prevent 3 for him, so not too bad. Probably just going to play an island here as they go. Blastoderm's coming down next. He's got deep analysis. All right, so off we go. Blasto. Attack you. Discard a card to get more damage in. And also makes our Grizzly Fate better. But we're probably just going to play Grizzly Fate next turn and just put 4 more power on the board. I think that's better than trying to get greedy here and go, because the other line is to go for Fact or Fiction, ditch a bunch of cards to Aquamoeba, and then Grizzly Fate to make 4 bears instead of 2. But I think that just casting an on-curve Grizzly Fate is probably going to be just fine here, as far as giving us enough board presence to just say, look, you need to do something. All right. All right, I'm not sure. Let's see. So he's just hard casting another deep analysis. He's keeping those land drops flowing. He is going to take a big chunk of damage here, though. So he's going to have to go off next turn. So we're going to put on the most pressure we possibly can here and try to make him go off next turn. Interesting. Arrogant Wurm or Grizzly Fate. Grizzly Fate spreads out the attackers, but Arrogant Wurm is a trampler anyway. The 2 mana doesn't really matter here. I guess I just do Arrogant Wurm, just because I'm going to discard a card to Aquamoeba anyway, so may as well do that. So that's 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's going to take 8 here. Yeah, I guess we just do that. I was going to do it the other way, but this seems almost free in a way. Like, I don't have to actually discard a card this way. All right, so that puts him at 9, and he's got to come up with something here. I'm bluffing a counterspell, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't really have the luxury of playing around it here. Now, if he just plays a Nightscape Familiar or any type of blocker, he can put it in front of Blastoderm and survive a turn, so that's a thing. All right, I'm just gonna let him go here because I don't have it. I can't counter anything. I would if I could, but I don't have it, so... Did he just make a Basking Rootwalla? Oh, wow. Well, that does matter here, because we can only get in for 7 if he can chump block Blastoderm. No, he's just going off. All right. Lame-o. Yeah, he's definitely going off now. Now that sucks. I guess there's still a chance that he bricks, but it seems pretty low at this point. Yeah, multiple obsessive searches. Yeah, we can't really interact at this point. He's still digging, but he's got enough life total to play with here. Yeah, that's about as fast as our deck can go, I think. Yeah, the only way we win now is if he accidentally boarded out his tendrils, which obviously is not happening. And it's brain freeze, so I'm going to concede. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so there's enough. Reason I'm conceding to brain freeze is because I can't interact with it, and because I don't want to show him my whole deck. I'm, just to save some. All right, so that we have to undo these things again because Magic Online crashed again. And what did I bring in again? Elephant Guide. I like that here. All right, we would like to play first. This is a keep. Pretty easy keep too. We go Aquamoeba into Arrogant Wurm and just really try to pressure him as much as we can. Could be a really good draw. That could have been one of the best draws we can have. We obviously need to hit a blue mana source to make it an excellent draw. If we draw an island on the next turn, we're in pretty sweet shape there. Or in the next couple of turns, really. Drifters. See if he's going to cycle the thing. No, he's not. Okay, turn 3, we got 7-ish power on the battlefield. This is about as good as it gets. Now, we have plays, but man, I'd love to see an island come off the top of that deck. Just to be able to counter that first spell of him trying to go off will often mean a whole turn for us. And that's all it takes in many cases. All right, well, we didn't get there. But we do have live attacks here that look pretty good. He might just have to chump block. He's not going to. I'm going to discard Thalakos Drifters here because I want to get in for the full amount. This is interesting, actually. It might actually just be better just to play Dreampod Druid here. I was going to play the Skywing Aven to try to use up my mana a bit better, but it actually trades for Owl Familiar. And Dreampod Druid does not, so let's do that. This way, if he doesn't have another creature, We can attack him for almost lethal here. Man, I'd love to see again and see an island here. Deep analysis? Okay. Choking Tethers. 4, 7, 8, 9. We can get him to 1. Which is just not going to do it. So he basically gets a turn here. In the meantime, we do just attack with everybody. Let him block. Take 6 here. Yeah, because cycling it doesn't do what we want to do either. Yeah, this stinks. We just have to keep our fingers crossed. We don't have any plays, though. So if he goes off this turn, then he goes off this turn. But I think we did everything that we possibly could to try to keep as much pressure on him as possible. Again, had we drawn an island, I think this game would be basically locked up for us, but we didn't. We drew a couple of Skywing Avens and Choking Tethers and stuff. But we have forced him now to assemble a hand that can go off here, and now he's got to go for it. And here he goes. High Tide. Flashback Deep Analysis. He's got 1,000,000 cards in his hand and 3 mana. Like, if he plays a Frantic Search here, we're in big trouble, potentially. It looks like that might be what he has. I wonder if we did just punt there then. Yeah. Wow. So if I would have Choking Tethered, I could have got him down to 1 and made it so he couldn't flashback Deep Analysis, which could matter huge. We obviously don't know what he has in his hand, but that we left him, like, that was 1 damage that I didn't take. I decided to play the Skywing Aven instead to diversify our threats. Wow. I wonder if it'll come back to bite us. Yep. Sure looks like it's gonna. I mean, obviously we still force our opponent to have a pretty extraordinary draw here, but I think they might have it. Oh, okay. So he's going to bounce our whole board. The question that I have is this all you're doing, or are we dying this turn too? Because if this is all you're doing, then we can recover. I mean, every single creature we play is lethal. Oh, it is all he's doing. Awesome. All right, so let's play Aquamoeba. Say go. We have to discard some stuff. A Skywing Aven can definitely go. And say go. We've got a backup Skywing Aven, plus we've got Choking Tethers and such here too. All right, so we barely got there. Yeah. Not using the Choking Tethers. So the way that I was thinking about it was wrong, which was, all right, I can't kill him this turn no matter what. So I'd rather put something else out rather than use my Choking Tethers just to get in for basically a damage. But I could have got him to 1 myself and made it so that he couldn't use the Deep Analysis. What I was really doing, though, and what I should have been thinking of is, so I'm forcing him to go off this turn, and if he doesn't go off this turn, if he can't make that happen, then this just rots in my hand, doesn't do anything, and the Skywing Aven that I put on the battlefield doesn't matter either. So it's much better to use the Choking Tethers to get in that damage to prevent Deep Analysis flashback and really put the screws to him. I mean, that just shuts the door on potentially 2 extra cards, and one of those cards could have been it. I mean, he did get to go off that turn with Temporal Fissure. He just didn't have enough to go deep, no Frantic Searches or whatever, to try to find actual win conditions. So we were able to recover pretty quickly from a Temporal Fissure. Lesson learned. Real close. Sometimes it's that close, but we were able to put just enough pressure on him to get into the next round.